Hello and welcome again to the Writer Review. This is Eric Currott Writer, and this week we're going to be taking a look back at the 2002 movie titled 8 Mile. Now, 8 Mile is a music drama film. It was also the acting debut of the legendary rap star Eminem, and the movie was directed by LA Confidential director Curtis Hanson. It was also produced by Curtis Hanson, Brian Grazer, and Jimmy Iovine. The cinematography was done by Rodrigo Prieto, and it was edited by Jay Rabinowitz. And like I mentioned before, it stars Eminem, Mekhi Phifer, Kim Basinger, Brittany Murphy, Taryn Manning, Evan Jones, Anthony Mackie, Proof, and D'Angelo Wilson. Now here's how the story goes. Set in 1995 Detroit, Jimmy B. Rabbit Smith is a young misfortunate auto worker distraught with life as a whole. And who can blame him? He's living in a trailer with his alcoholic mother Stephanie, played by Kim Basinger, and his adorable kid sister Lily, played by Chloe Greenfield, and her abusive and much younger boyfriend named Greg Beale, played by Michael Shannon. Jimmy has aspirations to be a rap sensation, but suffers from stage fright, which eventually leads him to vomiting on stage. Weeks before that, he had recently just broken up with his ex-girlfriend Janine, played by Taryn Manning, and starts anew with a new relationship with a young lady named Alex, played by the late Brittany Murphy, who has ambitions to become a model. Feeling the need to revive himself, he puts his trust to a local promoter named Wink, played by Eugene Bird, but that was a big mistake, because Wink is not exactly a very trustworthy individual due to the fact that he's in cahoots with Jimmy's rivals, who are probably one of the top rap acts, known as the Leaders of the Free World. In addition to that, Wink also ends up sleeping with Jimmy's girlfriend Alex, and so as an act of revenge, Wink and Jimmy get into a fight, and eventually the Free World makes a visit to Jimmy's house trailer and eventually beats the shit out of Alex outside of his trailer. So Jimmy is persuaded by one of his friends, who is a promoter who goes by the name of David Porter, or known to his close friends as Future, played by Mekhi Phifer, to get even with the free world by taking part in an epic rap battle. But his work at the auto factory coincide with the night of the tournament. But from Alex's visit, he gets sort of, persuaded to go for it and to take down these guys. Like the Rocky series, Jimmy doesn't have really much of a shot against the Leaders of the Free World, because they're like one of the top rap acts in the Motor City. But through determination, Jimmy aggressively takes the gang down one by one, thanks to Jimmy and his unique ability in freestyle raps, until it reaches an epic climax against one of the top rappers and the principal antagonist, the leader of the Leaders of the Free World, who goes by the name of Papa Doc, played by Anthony Mackie. And what Jimmy does is quite inspirational. In his raps, he actually exploits that Papa Doc, his real name is Clarence, and that unlike Jimmy, who seems to come from a humble upbringing, single parent home, living off poverty, getting the threat of becoming evicted and this close to being homeless. He reveals that Papa Doc is not this mean, scary, intimidating dude, but Jimmy exploits that Papa Doc, or in this case Clarence, is from a more well-off family. He went to a private school called Colingbrook, and he also comes from a two-parent household in a much more maybe upper middle class neighborhood. Once Jimmy wins this epic rap battle, Clarence eventually drops the microphone and Jimmy emerges victorious. At the end of the film, Jimmy and Alex reconcile their relationship, and Future offers him to host more rap battles at a place where Future works called The Shelter. But Jimmy turns him down, as he now feels his, no pun intended, future seems to be more brighter, and he decides to take his newly found confidence to another level. And his future never looked brighter. Now, the first time I heard that rapper Eminem was probably around the year 2000 when I listened to the song The Real Slim Shady. I had a chance to get the CD to listen to his songs, his rap music, and I actually, enjoyed it. I'm not particularly a big fan of rap music, but I thought, hey, let's give it a go. And, at first I thought his voice was really awkward. I mean, can someone really have that much of a nasal voice? I mean, I know there are many singers who have nasal voices, like Mick Jagger, John Lennon, Billy Corgan, Bob Dylan. But I don't think that people have such a nasally voice. Things like that. But the legend that is Eminem truly lives on. At first I had my doubts seeing this movie back in 2002, because over the course of history, various hip-hop and rap artists had tried to expand their horizons, to try out their acting chops, but to prove that, they're not one-trick ponies. But over the course of time, each performer had failed to turn in compelling performances. But after getting a mixed reception from the critics, I decided to see the movie myself and be the judge if this movie was good, or was it just pure dog poop. In my opinion, 8 Mile is good enough to purchase on DVD, and if you can't decipher hip-hop lingo, I would strongly advise you to caption the English subtitles just to get a better understanding of the words being said. The film itself succeeds in keeping it real, plus everything looks authentic, and never once does it feel forced or even contrived. And I think it deserves to be seen many times, and to me this movie holds a very special place in my heart. That if you have the dream and the drive, the obstacles become secondary. And director Curtis Hanson, well, he's made many iconic films like LA Confidential and Wonder Boy. Here in 8 Mile, he gives it everything he's got, and not once does the movie feel like a letdown. The main man that holds the film together is Eminem. His role as Jimmy Rabbit Smith Jr. is the definitive anti-hero. Sure, he's got a little bit of a mean streak in him, but I guess because of the humble upbringing that he has, you can't really blame him for having that. And he seems to have somewhat of the neurotic pleasures in talking trash and picking fights with people, only to lose to most of them. His romantic scene with Alex, played by Brittany Murphy, was only on briefly while he was working at an auto plant in the heart of Detroit. Cliché, Motor City. So if you think that this movie will have become, predictable, formulaic conclusion where everything comes up roses for Rabbit, well, you're all out on a limb. Eminem is not the only one carrying the baggage here. The supporting cast is equally poignant. One of the more notable supporters include Mekhi Phifer, who plays the part as Future, who kind of comes across as B-Rabbit's mentor and sort of a father figure to Rabbit. I also was kind of impressed with Evan Jones's role as the very likable but somewhat simple-minded Cheddar Bob. He's kind of a likable guy, even though he's not like one of the sharpest knives in the drawer. But the real scene stealer, no question in my mind, is not actually a character, but the setting of Detroit itself. The landscapes depicted here showcase some of the bleakest ever to be put on celluloid, and it's been said that the movie was shot at the infamous 313 or so I'm heard. On DVD, the extras, however, were not really impressive. For one thing, the making of features are not anything worthwhile because they're only on for 10 minutes, and there was very little contribution delivered by Eminem in the extras. I was, however, impressed by the soundtrack listings, where you can go over to the scene where each song is featured, that is in sync with the freestyle rap battles which happens in the movie. And the rap battles during the climax is real phenomenal. I mean, the setup is just spells Rocky. The old typical underdog story, where the guy just didn't have a chance in hell to pull through, but somehow he manages. The behind-the-scenes look at the freestyle rap battles that occur in 8 Mile happens to be quite stunning. It has a bit of an American Idol-like atmosphere as 4 extras try to duke it out with the king of rap himself, Eminem. And what makes this feature poignant is that this scene never really made the final cut, unfortunately. This edition in the DVD holds its merits, as we see first and forehand just how dynamic and witty Eminem is, and to me, I really truly think he is the king of rap. Now, I know there were other supporting players in this movie, but I don't think they really flashed out very well. First of all, I think a big miscast had to be Kim Basinger's character as the trailer trash Stephanie Smith. I just didn't think she was convincing enough, because when I think of trailer trash women, I don't think of them as being really all that beautiful. She's a little bit too pristine to be a trailer trash hoe. And Taryn Manning's performance, I know this may sound a little misogynistic on my parts, but most of the female cast members were not really that impressive. Taryn Manning's role was really not anything worthwhile, and Brittany Murphy's role seems to weave in and out, as it really does not have very much direction going to it. But I still think this movie will hold a special place in someone's heart, and to give the inspiration to just keep on pursuing whatever dreams you have, and don't let anybody down. And don't let anybody bring you down. If I was to give this movie a score out of 10, I would give it a 7. And I guess that's all the time we have. Remember, feel free to leave any comments and, be polite, be courteous, and I'll be back again with another review. Until next time, this is Eric Ryder saying, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.